All right, it is 6 o'clock, and I will call the Dalton Township Planning Commission meeting for April 29th to order. First, we will do roll call. Dave here, Casey,
Here.
Jesse, here, John, here, Lee,
Here.
Todd, here, and Kevin is not here. Anything on the agenda that needs to be added or?
No.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Support. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? On to the approval of the minutes from the last meeting, or I should say the hours from the last meeting. I'll make a motion to approve.
Oh, sorry. There's a couple typos. On the old business, the McMillan special events venue, it says that Lee and I abstained, but I believe we both voted yes, and Evan was the only one that abstained.
I believe you two abstained because you weren't present for the public hearing.
Oh, okay. Then just the last one for the new business, I abstained on that. My name is just not listed anywhere at all. Under yes, no, or otherwise.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
I will add you as abstaining.
I forgot about that. I wondered why there were so many of us that abstained. But that's right, because that was a carryover.
All right, we've got those adjusted. Anything else anyone sees? Like to make a motion?
A motion to approve March 25th meeting minutes.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We'll move on. Next up, we have a general public comment. This is for things, if you're here for anything, since you're our only public, we can speak directly to you. So welcome, public. So what we have here is we have a 3-minute thing in the beginning here, which is just general. So sometimes people will come in and ask a question and they say, hey, I would like to do this. How do I go about doing it or something like that? And they have 3 minutes to do that. So we'll open that one up. If you do have anything that you'd like to ask a question on, you can take up to 3 minutes to ask a question. Otherwise, we'll move on. And if you're here for something farther down in the agenda for tonight, we'll get to that. Again, there'll be public comments and time for that also. Okay, I will open up public comment at 6:04.
Dang it.
All right, do we have any public comment? If not, I will close the public comment at 6:04. All right, we are now up to our first item for tonight, which is an item for public hearing. It is a rezoning for parcels on Whitehall Road. Are you here for that? Okay. We have this will be a really easy one as far as the complexities and sometimes having lots of public here. So this will be but why don't you go ahead? I will, at this point, why don't you tell us what you're looking for here?
Well, we want to build some duplexes. I was hoping to be able to build 2 duplexes, but Steve over here is not compliant. And so I can only build 1 on each lot. So there's 2 different lots that are in question. So I want to build 2 different duplexes. The duplexes are nice duplexes. They got garages in the front, both sides, 3. I don't know if you have the drawings in front of you. So, and I really want to get started on it right away. There's a reason for that, as I have another particular asset that I'm selling. I want to do a 1031 exchange. So I can get this up and built, and then I can do that. I've owned the lot for quite a while.
Be straightforward on this end here. I appreciate that. Since it is an item for public hearing, we must do that portion also. So we now go ahead and open up the public hearing at 6:05. And I got a bang, yeah. Is there anyone that would like to speak on the public hearing tonight for the rezoning of parcels on Whitehall Road? This is for PC 25-07. We have no public here for that, so I will go ahead and close that at 6:06. Board questions or?
I mean, mine would be more for if they were doing duplex, I guess, it's just. You own the 4261 too, it has a building on it
I
already?
did, I sold that piece of property, yeah. And then I own the piece behind it. That's what the other one's in question there. That's landlocked.
Yeah,
So, but I do own the, what's the one?
4279,
yeah, like the next one that touches Icebox, so.
And I also own the one,
just north of it,
duck.
4279.
no, the Duck one, which Duck Lake Road. What's that address?
It's 1256 Duck Lake Road.
Which backs up, the back of our property backs up right into that other lot.
I was just curious about the easement, I don't know much about that, I don't know where it would cut through, or I don't know if it's a big thing or anything like that.
I wasn't sure either, so.
4279, or I can do off the Duck Lake Road, 1-2.
I mean, I know we're not approving that kind of stuff.
Right, we have to go, we're gonna have to go.
I'm just kind of curious, but I mean, just kind of have it in our head or my head or whatever before we even get to that point.
Yep.
Out of curiosity.
Again, this is for just the rezoning of
Yeah.
the parcels, but everything else, we like to ask questions to get ahead of this too, because it's one of those things for us. This is not our day jobs, so we like that. As much information, it helps us. So we appreciate that.
Were you here for did you rezone originally or something like that?
Just, well,
Plans?
well, in the meantime, we wanted C2, and then I had it up for sale as commercial property.
Yeah.
And then my realtor just never did it. I thought he did it. It was kind of a miscommunication. So obviously it isn't gonna sell if it's not up for sale.
Yeah.
And then in the process, we purchased the Duck Lake Road from this, so, which gave us access to the back lot. And so now I'm rethinking all those pieces of property just for a different measurement.
Housing is one of the things we like to have in our area. It always helps to have some options for that. So appreciate that.
We've had our rentals, every time we rent, they're on the market one day. There's such a need. I mean, our phone's off the hook.
Any concerns on this? Anything? We do have a sample motion.
I make a motion to recommend the Township Board adopt ordinance 2025-XX to rezone parcels 61-070-100-0018-00 and parcel number 61-07-019-100-0017-20.
All right, I have a motion. Do I have a support? Support. All right, I'll do a roll call vote on this. Dave, yes? Casey?
Yes.
Jesse?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Lee?
Yes.
And Todd?
Yes.
All right, that moves forward. It can be pretty painless, but we appreciate it.
It's $600, so it had a little pain to it.
I know you like a song and dance or something, don't you? Or like a try the veal or I don't know.
All right, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
You guys want to speak about more of the public hearings? or-
We just lost all of our audience.
Have a good night, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We also have a planning report. take a look at that. We do not, is there anything anyone would like to discuss on that? Okay. All right, go ahead and move on to unfinished business, which we have none, and we move on then to our new business, which we start off with the draft ordinance amendment for accessory buildings on corner parcels. Right after we get a new book, we're gonna make some changes. Isn't that something? Yeah. That read pretty much what we want. I'm trying to remember the end of that meeting. By then, I was kind of.
I think so, we're just trying to allow them to get an accessory building on their side street, so.
Yeah.
I thought it myself.
Yeah, I didn't see anything that.
That's what we're trying to do, even.
Yeah, I don't think I was at I think I was at the February one. Yeah, because I missed it, 'cause, I couldn't vote on that other one in March there. I missed this meeting.
So right now, anybody with a corner lot, both streets are considered front yard. So it
Farther setback.
pinches them for
They have to
accessory
go behind their
buildings.
house.
So now they only got two sides to work with instead of three. Trying to open that up a little bit. Allow it to build. On the side street or whatever.
Did somebody already come in? Is that why they were changing it? Or whatever?
Yeah, I've received a number of requests over the years, people just not happy that they can't have a accessory building in their side yard
Right.
that's 150 feet away from the road.
So if they're tucked back into the corner over here, then they can't, they're screwed, they can't have one.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of times it's the only place that works for them. So
Okay.
this way they still have to be 40 feet back and meet that front yard setback that an accessory for the principal building would need. So they're still far enough away from the road.
How do you determine on the corner lot what their front yard is? Do they get to pick, like,
So, yeah, added the wording that it has to be.
yeah, it says within one of the front
Yeah.
yards, so once they pick one, is that their front yard forever?
So it's defined in the ordinance. The way the ordinance works is it defines the front lot line. So if somebody were splitting off a new corner lot, their front lot line would be, usually it's the shortest. And that's defined as the front lot line, and then for definition purposes, that would be a side. It would be a side lot line along that other road. But there's a caveat in the ordinance that says, even though it's technically a side yard, you have to apply the yard requirements to both.
I guess what I'm asking is, how do they know where their front yard is?
Yeah, so I put in language saying that you have to follow the definition of front yard. And it can't be it can't be between the principal building and the front yard. Or it can't be between the principal building and the front lot line as defined in this ordinance. So the definition would be lot line front.
So it's not a front door or which way the door faces or anything like that would be easy.
No, it's usually on an existing lot, it's usually for a corner lot in existence at the time of adoption of this ordinance, the front line shall be that which corresponds to the property's street address.
Oh,
Right, that makes
Okay.
sense.
There we
excellent,
go.
that's easy.
I like
There
that
we
one.
go.
So we got, I like that.
That's
I wanna
cut and
be
dried.
Okay.
Okay, perfect.
But if it's a new lot, it's the shortest of the dimensions.
Okay,
Gotcha.
Which makes sense.
So instead of restating it, I just said in compliance with the
perfect, okay.
terms that define. I think that was all all the changes we had to make to the ordinance to make sure it works and doesn't conflict with any other language.
All right. We have, if everyone's, any questions or anything more to discuss on this? If anyone has an inkling to any of the above?
I make a motion to approve the draft ordinance amendment as proposed and hold a public hearing at the May 27th Planning Commission meeting.
Or do a roll call vote on that one? Dave, yes. Casey?
Yes.
Jesse?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Lee?
Yes.
Todd?
Yes.
Kevin is. All right, so that one will go to the board. Or go to the.
Planning Commission meeting.
Yes, public hearing. All right. Next, and last on our new business is the Lakewood Addition Sub-Area Plan initiation of the planning process. Have they found any ways, easy ways, is it to, are they gonna combine lots and make it so they're all buildable, or?
That is why we're doing this. Just to see if, and ideally that would be great. It's just to see if that's the best way of doing it, and then how do we, essentially, how do we handle this, and you know, how much do we transfer into private hands? How much do we maintain in public use or public ownership? And then what's the appropriate densities, appropriate, you know, street patterns? Are we gonna maintain the same, maintain the existing grid pattern? Are we gonna modify it, or are we going to encourage replatting? This is just to kind of
Get the ball rolling. on
get the
it.
ball rolling. I'll start doing some studies, going through. And right now, there's a lot of trash that gets thrown in there and piles up. So I'm gonna look at,
So it's to the point where this is gonna just, doing this will give you the ability to then move forward with it.
yes, you'll start formulating and engaging the public, and doing official research and planning work for the plan.
Beautiful. Any questions or feedback?
No, it's got it all explained out very well, I think.
I was at that meeting, so my question is, what is the developer requiring or asking of us as opposed to how it's currently drawn or plotted?
So the acreage that we sold to Leatherman Builders, he is planning on working with the existing plat and putting roads within those public rights of way. But there are other sections of the sub area that, maybe that wouldn't work. I'm thinking of
Okay.
some of the areas up by
In
White
addition to
Acre,
what he's
Goose
doing.
yeah.
I mean, this is beyond what he's doing, because there's so much property out there.
Yeah,
I think he only has about a quarter of what's out there.
yeah, okay, I remember.
So this will be encompassing all of that area.
I remember he was proposing so many lots, streets that were one way and entrances, and
Yeah.
that was a little ahead of the game, right?
Yeah.
It was too early to,
He would like to do, and we're kind of formulating our plan at the same time as he is
okay,
working on his plan for what he owns. But part of this plan would also be, how do we facilitate streets being developed?
yeah,
Because it's technically owned by the township. So we have to look, the township technically needs to grant authorization to maintain
okay.
roadways within that right of way. Also doing the research, reaching out to our attorneys, asking what,
Yeah.
you know, what does the township even do? Are they gonna be, can they be private roads? Do they have to be public roads? What are the mechanisms for,
Mhm.
you know, funding and maintaining those roads?
Yeah.
Which is where,
Okay.
you know, if we have to maintain them, then maybe replatting is the most desirable option.
Yeah. The planning committee would have a fair amount of responsibility in that design or the
Yeah, coming up
requirements.
with ideas and
Okay,
discussing those, like what they'd like to bring to the township board.
as well as things like the fire department and
Yes.
lots to
After-
consider. Sure,
And I
okay,
think after this weekend even, it might be a good idea to look at, you know, how do we maintain,
yes.
you know, roads for fire access or
Mhm.
even mapping the two tracks where they
Okay.
can get access.
All right. Would anyone feel compelled to make a motion or?
I make a motion to start work on the Lakewood additions sub-area plan, which has been designated in the 2018 Dalton Township master plan. Further move to direct the zoning administrator to prepare and send notice of intent to plan for the Lakewood additions sub-area plan to all entities required by the Michigan Planning Enabling Act.
I have a motion. Support. Take a roll call on this. Dave, yes. Casey?
Yes.
Jesse?
Yes.
John? Yes. Lee?
Yeah.
And Todd?
Yes.
Right. All right. I'd like to talk about my Vago. Then, we're at that point where we may have our favorite motion of the evening.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Or all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we'll end the meeting at 6:24.
Sample motions are speaking up, folks, please.
Yes.
Maybe you should put them in Chat GPT and ask it to be more succinct though. Jesse's gonna need